Hello everyone, this is Tengu, and welcome back to another Bloodborne boss drawing. In the last episode, we were abducted and taken to the unseen village of Yharnam. After fighting our way out, we are now back on the path through the Forbidden Woods, and on to Byrgenwerth. The journey is treacherous, as the villagers living in the woods have gone mad like the rest of the city, covering the path with brutal traps. In addition to the Scourge of the Beast, there seems to be something else tainting the poor citizens of Yharnam. As we progress deeper, we find men with parasitic snakes living inside them, as well as giant snakes out on their own. There are new forces at work here, and we continue on to get to the bottom of it. We eventually reach a large open graveyard with massive gravestones. It is here, out of the fog, the boss of the area emerges, the Shadows of Yharnam. Although our immediate association with Yharnam is the name of the city we have come to, we later learn that their name refers to something else, or at least someone else. These shadows are the servants of the Thumaran queen, Yharnam, carrier of the Child of Blood. They yearn for their queen's blood, with little hope of requitement. They are her bodyguards, and wherever the shadows are, the queen is not far behind. There are a few ways to go about combating these hooded figures, but the best strategies will revolve around picking them off one at a time. Although similar in appearance, they use different weapons and behave a little differently, so figuring out which ones to take out first will depend on their moveset and how you prefer to fight. One of the shadows holds a candle in one hand and a sword in the other. It will usually attack by breathing out a spray of fire, and switch to the sword when you've closed in. It will be aggressive, but usually remains in the middle of the battleground. The next wields a long black sword, and is very aggressive, constantly running towards you during the fight. The last has a short mace, but prefers to hang back and lob fireballs. One strategy is to bait the more aggressive ones towards you, and then run in and hit the caster quick, and dash out, constantly keeping on the move throughout the fight. It's a little slow, but effective for avoiding stray fireballs. The method I tend to prefer is taking out the most aggressive one with the sword first, using the large tombstones in the arena to shield from fire. He swings wildly when he approaches, making him very easy to parry. Rinse and repeat until Phase 2. Phase 2 begins when their combined health reaches below 2/3. This is why it's so important to finish them off one at a time. If you play your cards right, you can enter the second phase with one of the shadows out of the way. In this stage of the fight, snakes erupt from their cloaks, and they become much more difficult to deal with. The one with just a sword becomes a real pain, as his swings gain a ton of range, and it's much more difficult to roll past him, which is why I prefer to take him out first. Once he's gone, repeat the same strategy as before with the candle shadow, positioning the tombstone between you and the caster. Once he's out, quickly run to the last one, and be as aggressive as possible. The last shadow will attempt to summon a giant snake that attacks from beneath the ground, but if you are quick enough, you can stop this from ever happening, and make short work of the final shadow. I decided to go with the Graveguard set for this drawing. This set in particular once belonged to Doris, Graveguard of the Forbidden Woods. His pale countenance mimics the Labyrinth Watchers. Willem kept 2 loyal servants back at Byrgenwerth. When they were sent into the labyrinth, they encountered the Eldritch Truth and went mad. One became the password gatekeeper, while Doris became a Graveguard of the forest. Both remained loyal, even in madness. I thought the faded reddish-brown robes would contrast nicely with the black robes of the Shadows of Yharnam. For our weapon, I decided to go with the Kirkhammer. This trick weapon was usually used by healing church hunters. On the one side, it is an easily handled silver sword, but once inserted into a giant obtuse stone, it becomes a deadly hammer. The church takes a heavy-handed, merciless stance towards the plague of beasts, an irony not lost on the wielders of this most symbolic weapon. I thought the large stone with engravings on it would fit in nicely in this graveyard arena and would be useful for crushing a few serpents. The snakes that we encounter in this area are unlike anything we've come across so far in Bloodborne. If you were like me, you were eager to find out the lore significance behind them, and then a little disappointed when the game never really addresses them. Fortunately, I think there is enough information out there that we can at least form a few theories. Byrgenwerth was once built upon the graveyard of an ancient Thumaran civilization, and many winding labyrinths lie beneath it. The Thumarans served as humble guardians to the slumbering Great Ones. There are many snakes that can be found throughout the Thumaran chalice dungeons, so my guess would be that the snakes originated from there. Going by the shadows of Yharnam, it seems that the Thumarans had some control over the snakes, as well as some form of pyromancy. Many of the snakes we encounter throughout the area emerge from beneath the ground, and my guess is that this started when the Byrgenwerth scholars disturbed the graves of the Thumarans. Another interesting note is that as far as I can remember, there are no giant snakes located in the chalice dungeons. I believe the reason for this is that these snakes, along with some of the pigs we encounter, begin eating the citizens of Yharnam who were tainted with the scourge of the beast. This caused them to grow massive in size over time, similar to how certain people turn into large beasts. This is speculation, but I think these are all fair assumptions. Once the shadows of Yharnam fall, the way is clear for us to finally reach Byrgenwerth. Some answers should await us there, but we will have to wait until the next episode for that. Let me know what gear you would like to see used in that fight, and thanks so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the drawing, and I hope to see you in the next video.